an idea of what's going on and what's going to be required. So that can be pretty important, but everyone's different, right? It just takes a little time, especially if you've never been involved. It just takes a little bit of time for you to sit in the saddle a little bit,
Okay.
and you get it figured out sooner or later, right? So
Whenever I come into the office and it goes ding, 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 okay, your time's up, you worked with me long enough and you're still doing the same things. But no, but y'all are very patient, and you've got the greatest two girls that are working up front, and they are very protective of you.
yeah.
But
Well, they're not lying right now. This has probably been one of the busiest years that we've ever
oh, that's
had.
great.
We are, oh gosh, what did I look at? We've hit, I think it's 120% of our target goals for this year. So I mean, we literally every day, 5-6 meetings a day, back to back to back, not including in between phone calls. It's literally that way probably through the middle of January already on my calendar.
Good.
So,
Yes.
and I'm not complaining. I mean, I like to be busy, but genuinely when they say, we can't get you in till then, it's because there's just not a window. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now, if it's a basic question or whatever, most of the time they're going to send me a note, let me know, and I'll get back in touch with you somehow, whether it's through email or a quick phone call here or there. I may
Well-
call you at 8:00 at night, but
That's okay with me. It's not okay with Richard. Richard does not like phone calls or texting.
what?
He
Why?
he wants smoke signals. That's all he wants. It's like don't call me, and I won't call you. That'll be perfect. No, because he's got so many. He has so many not producers, but talent. No, not talent. People that are talk show hosts. There you go. Talk show hosts that. He said, "What if they were all calling me? I've got all these programs. You are not the only one. I don't know how long I got to tell you. You're not the only show that I have on." And okay, are you over? Are you finished with? Okay, now let me tell you what I had to tell you. But he is, I mean, that he's kept me this long is amazing, because he could have let me go a long time ago. And quit smiling, Richard. He's thinking about, how could I do this? Maybe
The wheels are turning.
yeah. Maybe I can do this live while she's on the air. And what would she do? What could she just say? No, but I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't blame him, because of it's just been a hard year.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
25 was a hard year.
Yeah.
I thought 24 was a hard year, but 25, distracted from 24, and now I'm now going into 26, and my handicap thing is gonna expire, so I've got to be
I
ready.
didn't even know they expired.
Yeah, they
Did
do.
Oh, so you have to get them renewed every so often.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So they make sure you're not still
still
like maybe healed or something,
Right,
And you're not handicapped anymore.
and you're dead, and your live kids are using the handicap part.
Well, yeah, probably.
And I feel so bad, because I'm sure people say, "Well, you can walk." What? Oh, you can't walk very well, but you can walk. That's you don't need one of those. You can
Yeah.
park down there. And I feel bad, because I feel like if I've taken a spot from somebody that is in a wheelchair and that has to by themselves.
Well, we moved my 88-year-old dad in with us, and at the beginning of November.
Oh, you did.
And I will tell you that that's been one of the advantages of having him there, is he has to ride with us everywhere. So I get to use this handicap placard. And I'm like, as if I wasn't lazy enough as it is. Now I get to park up close everywhere I go. So.
Well, my cardiologist, because he gave it to Sam for Sam to use on his car, and he said, "I'm getting you one as well." And I went, "Why?" And I said, he said, "The years are coming, and you're going to need it. Just put it in the drawer, and then you can use it." Yeah, I said. So now I'm going to him in December. He set an appointment for me for December 23rd. Are you kidding me? And it's
Wow.
like, and so I hope they all sing Jingle Bells while he's doing this procedure. But
Well, the line should be short.
yeah, that's why Sam wanted to be better, because he wanted to go to heaven, because he knew the lines were going to be shorter there than going to hell. But anyway, but I think that if you have a clientele that right now, is it half and half of older females and older men, or is it have you got a big mixture?
Are you talking about like the widowed clientele?
Yeah, whether the widows are just
Or just in general?
that are coming to you for advice.
No, I would say in general it's predominantly married couples, okay, or older single women, okay.
Older single.
Meaning most of our widowed clients, I do have a couple of widowers, but most of them are widows. So in terms of widow versus widower, overwhelmingly more female than male. In terms of general clientele, probably a pretty balanced mix, because most of the clients that we have are married couples. So,
Well, I've always wanted to do a club of, Widows Might, called Widows Might Club, and then have some people talk about things that the widows should do and all that, and then I found out there's a group that meets over at Luby's that is that Richard's tried to get me to go to, and I go, I just don't know. I don't know. I feel so weird. Not that I don't. I'm proud that that it's okay. I was married so long and it was fine and all. And now the kids make me feel like I don't have much time left anyway. So if I have to go to a club, or they want me to go to the the grief club, whenever,
grief share,
grief
something
share,
like that, yeah.
And I couldn't do that, and they said, Cindy, we want you to come talk at it. We want you to talk about it. And I went, maybe next year, maybe that will be the time that I can go. Talk about it.
It takes time. When we lost my oldest son last year,
I know.
My wife immediately started going to grief share ministry. They had it at our church for a while, and then it stopped. Now it's back up, but she ended up actually doing it another year. So she went through the full cycle, and then went to a church closer to our house that was still doing it at the time, and went through it again. I did not. I dealt with my grief in my own way. Right?
Yeah, that's
and everybody. I think that everybody deals with it in their own way. But I do think I have read books on it. I definitely have had opportunity to talk about it, because it literally would come up in every meeting I had last year.
Oh,
and meeting with clients and so forth. So that forced me to have to talk about, things and think about them and deal with them, right?
I know, but what you told me was like the one thing that I can't get out of my head. I don't want to get it out of my head. What you said, that he let you know, and that was just it was the coolest thing in the world, that you're going to love this.
Yeah.
And I think that and it just stuck with me, because I'm sure that that's exactly how you would feel.
Yeah, I will tell you, man. There were things that happened to me right around the date of his death last year that some I have told, and some I will probably never tell, because people would think I was crazy. Just things that in my mind are out of the ordinary, spiritually speaking. Okay. And so it irritates me now. It didn't used to as much, but now, post that experience, it irritates me when people put God in a box. Well, God doesn't do this or that anymore, or he doesn't, obviously I try to make sure it's in line with Scripture.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've never heard a voice that clear. And it was pretty amazing.
Well, but see, I had two other women. I had them on the show, and this gentleman that his wife was a medium, And so I just wanted to talk about it because it was just, I was just curious.
Mm.
And so they told me that when they left the funeral, one of them she walked in their house, and she heard her daughter say, "Mom, I'm okay."
Mm.
And she turned around and she said, "Now you know," I said, "No, listen. You know what I believe? I believe if you had that experience, that was your experience, and you shared it with us. That was great,
Yeah.
because you want to know that they're in some way." And I just talked to so many people after Sam died. Talked to people that said they saw their husband or their loved one at the foot of the bed, and they were just saying, "I'm okay, everything's okay." And she said, and that's all I need. And it was like he answered the prayer. And so the prayer was answered, whether it was biometrics or I don't care what it was, but it was done. And that's what my brother did to me. I was grieving so hard when he was killed, and then one night I'm sitting there holding one of the babies, and he came around the corner and he said, "Cindy, I'm okay. Everything's still going to be okay. So don't worry about me. I'm good, okay?"
Yeah.
And I put that baby down. I walked around the corner because he walked around the corner, and he was gone. So it was. I'm sure that scientists would try and break that down and minimize it and all that. But I told every one of those ladies, I said, "You had that experience. It's a true experience for you, and if it was sent by God to comfort you, why not? And so I'm not gonna ever dismiss that.
Yeah, I mean the scriptures say that He's near to the brokenhearted.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
It doesn't define what that looks like or what it means, right?
Right.
At least in its entirety. He's God. He can do whatever He wants to do.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have to fit your little box. And
Right.
the fact that maybe you don't believe it or you've never experienced it doesn't make it any less true, right? And it doesn't in any way limit a God that is all powerful, all sovereign, at least in my belief. So, last year was a tough year for you, obviously, for me, for my wife, our family in general.
Oh, yeah.
But I can also tell you that God has just been so faithful through it all.
Right.
I mean, I could tell you story after story about just all the positive that's come out of a very tragic event,
Right. And that's what we should look for. That's what we are supposed to be looking for, that.
Well, we
good.
have a hope, right?
Yeah.
The Bible calls it our blessed hope. I knew what my son believed, right? And, I mean, to see what happened at his funeral, the influence he had in a lot of people's lives, which my mom, good Lord, my wife and I had no idea, right? Because he was always, for the most part, kind of a shy kid. But, all that to say, we are called as believers to glorify the Lord Jesus Christ in all that we do, in all that happens, right? And everything happens for a reason. And everything happens, right? Romans tells us that everything works together for good to those that know the Lord, right? And are called according to His purpose. So it doesn't say everything's going to be good. It doesn't say you're not going to have suffering and tragedy and grief and all those things. But when that happens, we learn from it, we grow from it, and ultimately it gives us a hunger for eternity, where we're not going to have all those things.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I think that it's like being in the business you're in and having to deal with all these people that are dealing with ups and downs, and it's going to be a good year, or this year we've lost this is lost, and so we're gonna build that back up and have faith, and that's why it's good for people to know how strong you are in your faith, to know that it's not what you're doing is not the most important thing in your whole life.
Yeah.
It is up there, but it's taking care of people and making sure you can calm them down if they're getting too upset and anxiety ridden.
Well, what you believe drives what you think, and what you think drives how you behave, and how you behave tells everyone around you what kind of person you are.
Right.
I'm certainly not perfect. I don't claim to be.
Well, no.
I wouldn't need a savior if I was, right?
Right, that's exactly right.
But at the same time, I don't, while I don't necessarily wear it on my sleeve, meaning my faith in my business, if you come into my office, you know where I'm coming from.
Right.
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 And if you're a client with me for any period of time, you're going to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I just was confused with the stuffed bear, but but I just.
Do you want to know where that came from?
No, where?
So
Walmart.
we have a slogan that says bear markets don't have to be scary. Okay.
Oh.
And so the bear is
course.
behind that slogan. The bear was actually given to us by a lady that was a friend of the previous owner. She had a clothing line for women hunters called She Safari.
Oh.
And she and her husband ultimately sold the line to Gander Mountain.
Wow.
And then Gander Mountain went under, and yeah. But she had all these mounts, these trophies that she had traveled around the world and killed, basically marketing for this clothing brand. And I think he told me that bear, that she shot that bear with a bow and arrow on an island off the coast of Alaska.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's got his hands up just like it's scary.
You know, I have no desire to hunt really anything that I can't eat. I love to hunt and fish, but I can't see myself like going to Africa and shooting a giraffe. I have no desire. They may eat it, but I'm not, so I don't have really a desire to hunt that kind of game. So.
Well, Sam said that same thing to me about, he says, you know, I have no desire to kill Bambi, you know, so I'm not going to ever go deer hunting. And I went, I'm so glad, because all his friends were deer hunters. So he got invited to go on a hunt. And he goes, I'm just going to take pictures, you know. And I went, okay, that's good. He comes back, and it's like they did first blood on him, you know. And hey, I'm going to hunt for the rest of my life. And
he did love to hunt.
Oh my word, he
But
did.
You know what? A lot of that is just having a good group to go hang out with, and just, you know, that's part of the camaraderie is what I like about it.
Deer, they tell deer stories, the same ones over and over every year, and they come to the parties and stuff like that. And I said, could y'all just number those and just go like, hey, remember number 4?
Story number 4.
Everybody just laugh or be afraid or something, but because we've heard them all. We've got the T-shirt, and we don't care, and none of us care. None of the women care.
Yeah.
Nope, not one woman was a hunter type.
Yeah.
They did enjoy them going out to hunt because they went hunting for shopping, you know, some deals. But that's what they said.
That was my wife and I's deal when we first got married. She's like, if you get to hunt, I get to shop. I'm like, okay.
There you go.
Well, go for it, yeah.
That's perfect. And I said, okay, so next year, I'll go shop and you go hunt and you take Christy and Chad with you. Okay? He goes, no. Let's go back and do the deal. But
Speaking of shopping, do you have all your Christmas shopping done? Or you haven't even started, have you?
CVS is still open all night, right? Or Walgreens are still open all night. I can't tell you how many times the kids would come down on Christmas Day and go and start to open presents and go, it's going to be a Walgreens for Christmas, everybody. But Sam I got to tell you, you'll love this. You know, Sam. We'd come down and everybody, and all these presents are there, and the kids are all excited and all. And he said, okay, everybody step back, sit down. I just want everybody, as you're opening these presents, think about all the children that don't have presents, and all the mothers and fathers that couldn't afford to buy them presents, and that what all you have, and how blessed you are, and these poor children out there, that it just reminded me of the. You know, there's a lot of starving Chinese children. Are you going to eat that whole thing? But so then he said, okay, open your presents. And they went, Dad, you just ruined Christmas for us. Why would you do that? I feel like we ought to take all these presents, we're going to take them down to the fire station and they have them give them away.
Yeah.
And he said, that's a good idea. No, Dad, we're kidding. And so that was his way of feeling, not as guilty for buying all these presents, that he let his children know what they are doing, to all these other kids.
Yeah, you want to make sure that they understand the sacrifice it takes to provide it, and then more importantly, make sure that they actually are appreciative and thankful for it.
Right. Oh, right.
I think that's one of the biggest things that's missing in our culture. People are just not thankful for anything anymore. They take everything for granted.
Everything for granted.
And that's a terrible place to be as a country. So, because everybody walks around with expectation rather than the mindset of how can I be helpful and produce and add to culture, society, whatever. It's take.
Well, that's why I think, I listened to a lot of Charlie Kirk's things that he talked about. And he was trying to get over to people that, we live in America is, why do you think people are coming here illegally and walking miles and miles and all that? Why do you think they come there? It's because it's America.
Yeah.
And you want to support all that. And they'll come up to a microphone and say, I hate America. I hate America. I hate anybody that is conservative. I hate everything about it. And he goes, well, I don't know about what to do with you because I think you love being miserable, and this is what you stay talking about it. And so he talked about that too, is the responsibility that we need to be taking, and also the things that think of other people instead of yourself all the time. And
well, people step up to a mic and say stupid things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I'll just look at the camera. You're stupid if you say things like that, because you don't even realize in the context of what you're saying,
right,
that if you weren't in America, you wouldn't be allowed to say it.
That's
period.
Right? Exactly.
So,
right.
The very country you hate is giving you the freedom to express yourself in the way that you're doing it.
Right.
Anywhere else, they'd be throwing you off a roof.
Right.
Okay. So, those kind of people, I do think they enjoy being miserable. They constantly want something to complain about,
right,
and be angry about for whatever reason. I mean, all I can do is pray for them and hope that they see some light. But
isn't that the truth?
There's certainly a lot of them.
There sure is a surge, though. We go to these gospel concerts and different things that are filling up venues that, Kiss or Beatles may not be able to fill up, but they're full, and these kids are all singing these songs together, and it's just that just warms my heart. It makes me feel like maybe it's going to be okay.
You said something earlier about something about the economy scaring you. What is it that you're scared of right now?
Well, no, I'm not talking. The economy doesn't scare me per se. It scares a lot of people, and they're all anxious, and it gives them such anxiety. And so when God comes back to God, He said, "Don't be anxious about anything."
Right.
I try and read anything into that, and what anything is He talking? Don't be scared about.
It's pretty broad
anything.
term.
Yeah. You don't do that to me. But I think it's that's why. Knowing you, and I think that's why I wanted to talk to you about and let people get to know who you are and what you feel, what you a lot of times they can stand, you can throw numbers at them all day long and they're not going to understand who you are. That you base your business and what you believe in is to help somebody and to make sure that they feel comfortable, and you want to make them feel secure, that you can, as secure as you can in a volatile, especially right now, it's very volatile.
Yeah, and we've actually, as of this past week, taken that to a much larger level. I made the decision early last week, after being approached about 2 years ago, to align our firm with, or basically come underneath a much larger firm to offer an even wider array of capability to our client base.
Than who you're with now?
Well, I mean, we're independent, right?
Yes. So you can do this.
I've aligned myself with a much larger independent company that approached me about basically becoming the satellite Houston location of their office in Idaho.
Oh, wow.
They're in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So we still retain our name and all of that kind of stuff. We just kind of come underneath their umbrella for investing, planning. There's a
Oh,
wide.
good. I thought you were getting ready to announce. and
No,
we'd be
no, no.
moving to
We're not going
Iowa.
anywhere.
What?
No,
No,
we're not going
no.
anywhere. Same company, same people, same goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're very aligned with us in terms of at a spiritual level. So, for example, one of the companies in particular, 51% of their net profits is given to gospel ministry.
That's awesome.
So there's just a lot of alignment in that respect, and it's going to open the door for things for our clients that, just because of our size, us being a smaller boutique level firm, we can't provide a lot of things because we don't have the size and the staff. Well, that's about to change pretty quickly.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. It's going to be a little bit of work first quarter of the year, especially. And we've not sent out any announcements or anything yet. That's why I'm not really saying any names or anything. But, but we'll send that out, and it's going to be a pretty cool deal for our clients. Pretty excited about it.
So are you going to promote the two girls to vice president of the company?
I've been trying to get Alicia to get her license for, probably 2 years now. She's so good with detail and numbers and analysis, but she is absolutely terrified of sitting in front of someone and giving them advice about how to handle their money.
I'm sorry.
I said, well, that's what your training's for.
I probably ruined them. Because she'll always say, I'm not at liberty to say that, Cindy. Let me talk to Chris and I'll get back with you. And say, but what if I did? And she said, well, that's really up to you, Cindy. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And it's just
there's certain things that if they're not licensed, they can't. There are lines that they can't step over,
right?
Because then regulators consider it investment advice, and so
But they are good. Yeah. They are you have such a good group.
I appreciate that.
And it was. And if you get to know these girls and you go like, he really does have good judgment of character and patience for them to put up with people like me.
Well, last year, Christine, our newest employee, it was just so prescient how last year kind of played out. We lost an advisor that had been with us over a decade to a stroke. Then 2 weeks later, my wife and I lose our son. And then 2 months later, after I had hired Christine to replace David, our advisor that had passed, she loses her husband. Just boom, 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 all in the same, within 6 months period of time, right? So
Wait a minute. I'm just hearing this for the first time.
Yeah.
David,
yeah.
Married?
No. No.
I need to say that. I'm glad I said that.
I won't say his last name on the air.
No.
But he was an advisor that was with us for well over a decade.
See, I remember that someone had passed, like when I'd first come in there and started coming in there, and y'all had just gone through that. But I never heard his name. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad because I would have gone home and just, No, he's alive and well. Okay.
But I'm just saying there was a lot of things that happened back to back to back that we persevered through. We were there to support one another. We got a great crew. That's really all I can say.
Yes, you do.
And we don't all believe alike. Okay. But that's okay.
But they've got the most tender hearts, or the patience that they have.
They love people. Yeah.
And they want to explain it to you so you feel good when before they hang up or say "Are you crazy? Why would you ask a stupid question like that?" That's not how they are. And so, and a woman needs to know that going into like a dealership,
sure,
and have somebody talk to her. And I remember doing commercials on a dealer that said he's going to start putting women out selling cars, and I went, "You are? Let me do your first commercial on that." And so I put them out there and had them, go through what they would talk to and how they would talk to somebody, and tell them this is who you want to talk to, and ask for so and so, and ask for this person, and so it was great because women, they finally admitted that women were the ones that made the decision on the car, not the man. Yeah. So the majority of that, and so. They said, I said, do you see how silly it is that you don't have more women out there when it's women that are making that decision, and that she can relate to someone and doesn't have a man talking down to her? That's he goes, well, we're going to work on that, getting that out there. But especially since there's going to be a woman that's buying this dealership. What? That's great. That is so great. So it was funny. It's just like the little 60s rebel comes out in me, about let's get that woman power, kind of thing. Right. No, I can't stand to go to movies and they have all these women playing the parts that men would normally play, and then trying to convince me that woman could do what you just had her do, and that because I could tell that there was a man dressed up in that costume that made her look like. It's just funny. It's like they're trying so hard. Yeah, I know. So like Mr. Mom. I love that. I love that movie. Yeah. But anyway, so if people, are on the, they've got all their money under the mattress and it's getting lumpy, so they want to know what to do with this money that they have, what would be a good thing to tell them?
Well, goodness. First of all, if you still have most of your money under your mattress, you just missed out on a fortune the last couple of years. So,
there's an uplifting.
The way, well, I mean, I'm going to be real, right? You cannot live your life in fear. What you can do, well, let me rephrase that. You can live your life in fear, right, but it's a really crappy way to live.
Yes, okay? It is.
To the people that are, let's say, less tolerable of risk, okay? There are ways to basically put risk controls on your money without shoving it under a mattress where it's doing nothing but deteriorating in value, okay? It may make you feel better because you have $100,000 under your mattress or whatever it is, but it's not doing you any good, right? So I would say right now you need to be talking to somebody knowledgeable that has an idea about where the market is, okay? Meaning I would be very cautious on how I entered the market today just based on where I know the market is. Now, that doesn't mean don't have it there. It just means, if you've got brand new cash and you're wanting to invest it to try to make some money, you need to do it in a way that has a little bit of intelligence behind it, not just go throw money at the wall.
Right.
But, I would say don't be afraid of investing. Just have risk controls on what you do invest. Plan out your exit strategies ahead of time so that if and when the markets do decide to take a nasty tumble, you're prepared, right?
Right. Or you have someone that's watching over that for you.
Yeah. And look, I think I've told you and your viewers before, I do not subscribe to a buy and hold philosophy of investing. We're very tactical and very active in terms of how we invest. So I don't believe the statement that's made when markets go haywire of just hold on, they've always come back. Well, historically speaking, that is a true statement in the U.S. When markets collapse and we have nasty corrections, especially bear markets, right? Historically, the U.S. stock market has always come back and gone on to higher highs, right?
Right.
But that's not a guarantee.
No, of course not.
Okay, meaning it could happen to us what happened to Japan's primary index back in the late 90s, where it corrected and then it traded sideways for literally until 2023. Okay, so you had a market that corrected from its high and then literally traded sideways for 23 years before it recovered its previous high.
Wow.
Everybody thinks that can't happen to us, and I'm just not one of those people. I hope that it doesn't, and we're always going to, make sure that we're investing to do the best for the client, what's in their best interest. But we have pre-designed risk controls put in place where when markets start going haywire as they hit certain levels, we're prepared for it.
Right.
Okay?
And you're such a fiduciary.
That was a very good pronunciation of the word, by the way.
I can't say that. I just cannot say that name without you explaining what that is.
Fiduciary.
Fiduciary.
I can barely say it. It just means that we have a legal obligation to do what's in the client's best interest.
Right.
Okay. Meaning we have to put their interest before the firm's interests.
Right.
Okay. So, that part of it, we've been that for, since the late 90s, I think, was when Craig originally kind of put that wrapper around his business. He was well ahead of the industry in that respect. So,
well, that's what I'm thinking. How he was so confident in certain things, and that's somebody like me. It's very vulnerable. I don't know nothing, and so if you're confident about it, great. I'll be confident too, and then that probably causes problems why people get big head and power hungry and stuff. No, but you're not that way, and so people can feel very confident in because Sam, as we know, didn't like anybody, but he liked y'all and he believed in what you stood for, and he felt like y'all you had all the facts and you were watching over the money and that kind of thing. So. It was
everybody loves their advisors, right? While the market's in bull status.
Yeah, until you call and say sorry.
I mean,
they all ran off with the money.
Yeah, the litmus test of your advisor is not during bull markets where you can throw a dart at the wall and make money. Okay.
Yeah.
The litmus test of your financial advisor is what happens to your account when the market collapses. Okay. Does he disappear? Do you never hear from him? I mean, we communicate predominantly by email, as you know,
right.
Just because it's the fastest way for me to get info out. But if he just, goes radio silence, no, it was kind of a pun there, I'm sorry. But if he goes radio silent and you don't hear from him when markets are collapsing, that worries people, right? If he didn't have, I mean, I've had clients come in and say, talking about the last bear market drawdown, and they would say, I called my advisor and asked him what the plan was, and he was like, well, there's not a plan. We're just going to hold on. We'll ride it to the bottom. It always comes back,
Yikes.
Well, that's not a plan.
Yeah.
That's just sticking your head in the sand and watching basically your life savings get destroyed. Okay?
See, that's what people need to hear that come out of your mouth, because that's what you believe, and that's how you're going to take care of your clients, and that's why I'm still hanging on, and I don't use your cell phone because I don't want anybody to think that I've got special privileges or anything. Yeah. But if you see that my name on there, you bet. No, I'm kidding. Richard's been trying to train every one of his hosts. Don't call me. Yeah. Don't text me. You email me, and maybe I'll get back to you. No, and I'll get back to you.
What's your cell phone number, Richard, so I can put it up on the screen? Because when this goes up on my YouTube channel, I want to make sure everybody has Richard's cell phone number.
No, that's what I get to do.
Everybody make Richard feel special.
When he says, Cindy, that's enough. We've had enough of you. Okay, go on, and I'll say, do you want your number up on this? On my Facebook. Okay, all right. He's giving me this. All right. Okay, so you guys, we have all the information about Wootton Financial Group up on the screen. With Chris, and so you guys give him a call, and he'll let you come over and kick the tires and figure out if y'all want to work together. And you do. He is a great guy. Okay, thank you so much for coming and spending time.
Me. Always have fun.
I don't know how much that cost you, but okay. All right, we'll see you. Y'all be sweet and be kind to each other, and call somebody you love, okay? Or you don't love, even better. Okay, see ya.
Every week, people ask the same two questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these two questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, one-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952 or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice from Game Plan Advisors, Wootton Financial Group, or any of their representatives.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
I was born in the Dust Bowl, the land of twisters and tumbleweeds. You can drive for 40 miles and never see a single tree. 80 days with no rain in sight, can smell the feedlot if the wind's just right. If you wanna know who I am, just look at where I'm from. I'm just a panhandle poor boy, 4th generation born and bred.